And now we make a different kind of presentation that I hope you like it. And we have Mr. Marc Allier, director of the ICE, and he will talk us about to be smart, wise, and wisdom. So it's important to have different kind of views, and this is what Mr. Marc Allier will bring to us. Thank you.
First of all, thank you for inviting me. I have the feeling that my fiduciary responsibility is to make a little bit of provocation. I'm going to start right now. Isn't it wonderful that cities are going to be smart? Now, we, after thousands of years of history, we're going to get it right. Perfectly. Our cities are going to be smart, and everybody in these huge cities that contain the 70% of the world are going to behave in a structured way, in layers, that we can paint in a beautiful drawing. Isn't it wonderful? I'm up for that. Who's not? Smart. Yesterday I was thinking about this presentation. I have written an essay, and maybe I tell something about that. I read about the definitions of smart. Smart is about being good at applying logic, about intellectually smart. But there's also another definition of smart, which is arrogant. I think that it's called being a smart ass. But in the dictionary, there's this definition of arrogant. We are going to get it right. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. So when I'm an IT guy, since I was 12 years old in the 80s, early 80s, I was doomed to be an IT guy. And we're not lucky IT guys. So we all IT guys or IT related. Somebody is not from IT here. He can go away. I think that we should have been civil engineers. It's much better. Imagine that we are going to build a bridge. In a smart city, we need smart bridges. And what happens when we build a bridge, a brick and mortar one, not that thing that we can call a router, no, a bridge. Some bricks crossing a river, yes? Nobody stops using the bridge, saying things like, this bridge could be better, I'm not going to use it, or there's a better way to do it, or this bridge is not as cool as the bridge in this other city, so I'm going to cross in the other city, or next year there's going to be the definite great bridge that we are going all to use. Civil engineers don't have our problems. These excuses I hear all the time when I'm an IT guy, I'm an IT professor, and what I do is to build IT services and products, and I usually fail. I see in my university, in a lot of companies, in my city, a lot of services, a lot of things that we do badly. Products that never come to be used or we have to throw away. Well, in Barcelona we have several projects, especially in Plaza Glorias. The civil engineers are screwing it up, but I think that there must be some IT guy there. But we have ITs fail continuously. And I think maybe this is a good thing, because now IT is going to rule the world. Everything in the world, everything new, everything what we're going to be smart, are we not? So it's about IT. Why is that? Well, for civil engineers, everything is slow. We built that thing when the Olympics in the Plaza Glorias, and now we're changing it back to how it was before, but it has been over 23 years. So the cycles are slow. You build something, you declare victory. The thinking, the building, the planning, paying off the politicians to do it, because we have smart cities, but we have dumb politicians. For instance, in Spain, it's illegal to generate your own photovoltaic energy. It's forbidden by law. So we have a politician problem, but we should think about psychiatrists or something like that to fix that. And it's not the theme of my talk. But what happens is that IT moves really fast. If I was a civil engineer, my experience over these last 30 years would have been like starting looking at how the pyramids were built, going through how the Greeks built the Parthenon, and then the Gothic, and then the Renaissance Gothic buildings, the modernism, and these really ugly buildings that were built all across Europe in the second half of the 20th century after the World War II. Things like this campus, for instance, which is really ugly and it breaks. Some buildings are breaking down. I think that now there are some beautiful buildings that are starting to be, but if I was a civil engineer, my experience would have been of seeing all of these changes in how buildings are created, planned, used, reused, tear down, used for another purposes. So in IT, we see all the cycles completely. And why is that? First of all, we have one advantage in IT, which is what Miquel Barceló, one of the professors of this house, my mentor, my friend, tells the multiplicator factor of IT. If you build a car, you can go 100 times faster and you can load 1,000 times more weight. But if you get a computer to talk to people, to think, to plan, to make calculations, the number that the increase in productivity that you can get, it's enormous. So it changed everything. When you, as somebody said, to make mistakes is something human, but to really mess things up, we need the computer. Because we have this multiplication of everything that happens. Everything, when you put something in, when you put IT in the mix, everything starts bubbling. And everything that's right and everything that's wrong, it becomes obvious. And what we do really well in IT is we throw things away. We recognize our mistakes. So I think that the first thing, if we have to be smart, start to be clever and to acknowledge that we have to fail. And we have to look a little bit into history, because for instance, when we're talking about energy, we're not looking at one picture. We say, okay, with today's technology, we are not going to make it. We have to reduce our energy consumption. But everything tells us that energy consumption is not going to go down unless 3/4 of the population goes away. Energy consumption is going to go up. Who's going to go to China and say, hey guys, you don't need cars, you don't want electricity, you don't want air conditioning in your house? We have it, but you don't need it because there's this Kyoto thing. No, they are going to get their electricity. They want it. And they deserve it just as we do. So no. It's smart to say, no, we have to reduce. No. But there's something that I wanted to talk about, which is Moore's law, which is an empirical law that I think that everybody here is familiar with. It's a law that was formulated by I think it's Gordon Moore, one of the founders of Intel Corporation, which says that every 18 months the number of transistors and in a per square inch is going to double every 18 months. So IT messes things up, and it's accelerating an exponential rate. So our technology, not IT technologies, but everything that we apply IT is going to accelerate. If we're going to start researching batteries. Batteries are going to improve. Fuel efficiency, sewage, how everything is going to improve. Technology is going to improve. And lots of these technologies that we create are going to fail. And when I was thinking about what to talk about, I was thinking, okay, what can I give to each of one of us? So if we want to be clever, not smart, because smart, the cities are smart, no, not us. We can be a little clever, or smart asses, or this is also true. I wanted to talk about the history of computing, which is one of the subjects that I teach at class. I have the luck of giving this subject in the School of Informatics here. And if we look back, in the 40s, maybe there was one computer for all the world. Just one computer. In fact, Isaac Asimov, in the 40s, was writing histories about robots, of course, we all know about robots, but he was also writing short tales about one computer called Multivac, because there was this company called Univac in the 40s, 50s, and Asimov thought there will be just one computer for everybody, Multivac, that it's just enough. But then in the 50s, we started to get little companies building huge computers, and maybe we could say that we have one computer per country, why not? And in the 60s, we had one computer for company, and in the 70s, we had this, the mainframes were evolving by the underdogs, becoming new companies were building these mini computers like the PDP, where Unix was born in the 70s, and we had one computer for department. And then in the 80s, with Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, we got one computer per office, and in the 90s, one computer on every desktop. And with the mobile phones and the smartphones, we have one computer per person. Not per desktop, but one computer per person in every hand. And where are we going now? That every computer is going to have a lot of mini computers attached in our watch, in our blood pressure sensor, in our door, in our coffee maker, of course. Everything, the number of computers is going to surpass the number of people. So then the kind of improvement, the new services that are going to be built, we cannot see. Did anybody foresee 10 years ago that we would have 1 million apps in the App Store or the Google Play App Store? 1 million apps. 10 years ago, did anybody foresee it? I did, because I designed the master's course in development for mobile apps, and nobody came. We had just 7 students because there was no iPhone. But I didn't think that we're going to be, in less than 10 years, more than 1 million apps in a growing business. And maybe these 1 million apps are competing for a slot of 50 apps really well used worldwide, or maybe 2,000 apps that are going to be used locally in different niches. A lot of these apps are going to fail. The number of failures that we are going to get now with our programs for smart cities, collaboration, building networks, city labs, is really interesting, because we are going to get together a lot of people being clever, each and every one of us trying to be clever and doing things and collaborating. But we have to know that we are going to fail. One of the differences that everybody that has been in the Bay Area, in San Francisco, in California, and has been in Barcelona, is that there they embrace the failure. They know that companies fail, and they want to fail early. Now we are taking here the methodologies of lean startups, building lean projects. Why? Because we are not enough being smart and knowing that we are going to succeed, but we have to make measures, and we have to look and know that if we are going to fail, then we fail, and then we try another thing else. It's something that we have to do. Another thing, for instance, in universities is I have seen a lot of products failing or not completely succeeding. And I'm really, I like in drinking coffee to criticize the services, the IT services that our university offers. Why not? Everybody does. This service, I don't like it. Gabriel has service that which does not work with the LDAP of the university, for instance. Yeah, but they are still there. And we like to complain. We say, this service is not. And then last year I went to a seminar in Madrid where they talk about the experience in adoption of IT services in several universities, about IT governance, what they call it, and they told us about one university that they were using mostly our technologies, and they were rating the success because they were getting half of the university staff to ask for username, which is something that we accomplished here in the UPC, I think, in the 2000, and we complain. And they use the same technology. So the adoption and the impact of technologies is not about how powerful the technology is, but how ready is the social group that is going to adopt it. If in the 70s, in the Xerox Park, they had all the technologies that we use today: GPS, multi-touch screens, local network areas, using sensors that these kinds of sensors that we want to use in the smart cities. They have it, everything. The graphical user interface that Steve Jobs stole for them, bought from them. They had everything, and they were not able to put it on the market. When they tried, they failed completely. They even failed to pitch it to the management staff of Xerox, which was only interested in building better photocopiers. The society was not ready because they were not building a bridge. They were building IT things. So when we want to build a new service, we want to use some open source technology or something that somebody is going to sell us, and we want to put it in our universities, in our circle, we have to look, are we ready for that? And if we're not ready, maybe we don't have to start this project, and we have to start getting our circle ready. Thank you.
I would like to say to Mr. Marc Allier that we fail. The IT fails, that's true, and I agree. But we fail again, we fail better. Thank you.
That's the spirit.